Pisces. Pisces, Pisces, Pisces. Messages for Pisces. Okay, let's do one more and then we'll pull them. So I'm going to do a 9-card spread with significator cards on the left-hand side. You'll see what I mean. Okay, please clarify each row with one significator card. Please clarify each row. 2 more shuffles. I'm feeling good about your guys' reading. I was actually really excited to do it. Significators. Okay, bottom of the deck. Bottom of the deck, Pisces. King of Swords. This is, I'm cold. Hold on, let me get a blanket real quick. Okay, King of Swords. If you hear snoring also, that's my pug. She loves helping me do readings. King of Swords energy in the bottom of the deck. Let's look underneath. Has to do with rash energy, acting without thinking. And while the swords in tarot represent the air signs, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, who are ruled by their thoughts and their ideas, they're very cognitive sign. They love data, they love communication, words, lyrics, poetry, rhyming. This is the one card out of all of the swords that talks about, that kind of means not thinking, just acting. And so it can be very rash, usually in a negative aspect, jumping to conclusions. Okay. Six of Wands, so that's good. That has to do with victory, working, and then we have the Devil. So the Devil indicates being tethered to something that we know we can get out of. So this is a really interesting, Pisces, because either you're acting like this or somebody that you're with could be acting like this. However, with the 8 of Pentacles here and the 6 of Wands, this does have to do with victory through work, focusing on what needs to be focused on. And while there may be some jumping to conclusions, while there may be some acting irrationally, it is because they or you or the situation feels a little tied down. The good thing with the Devil card is we're tethered to things because we choose to be tethered to them. So if someone in your life or you are acting irrationally, jumping to conclusion, it's very easily switched to the positive side when we kind of start focusing on what we need to be focused on. Focusing on stability, focusing on growth. That's where the victory comes in. So good start to the reading. And then at the center of the reading, we do have the Star card. So the Star card, again, represents Aquarius. So we could be dealing with an air energy. We actually have quite a bit of air in here. King of Swords. The card of Aquarius is the card of Libra. 8 of Swords. So I feel this is temporary and the mindset will shift. Center of the reading, the Star. This has to do with healing. This has to do with letting go. Staying grounded. If you notice, she has 1 foot on the ground and 1 foot in the water. So part of her ability, and Aquarius is a fixed sign. So part of her ability has to do with staying grounded and being very fixed in that aspect, but also being in touch with and in tune with emotions. And what I love about the Star card is, if you notice, she's nurturing both aspects, right? Nurturing her emotions and nurturing reality. So hope, faith, letting go, belief, healing, So a very beautiful energy, and it very clearly talks, kind of links into what we were talking about over here with choosing a different mindset, choosing a different action, even though initially it may not have gotten off to the right, on the right foot. Okay, first row, significator, Queen of Cups reversed. When you get one of the court cards, okay, page, knight, king, or queen, when they're reversed, they're kind of manifesting the negative aspects of that energy. So when we have the Queen of Cups, this is the card of Cancer, but could mean you. This has to do with caring, kindness, warmth, mothering, because Cancer in the natural zodiac represents the 4th house of home and family. And she's the leader of that house. So all things mothering, all things lovely and kind and gentle, and back to the word nurturing, but reversed. There is anger, there is vengeance, there is, again, jumping to conclusions. And if you know any Cancers, you know, or kind of water signs that can get very frustrated sometimes and lash out, you can, one thing I like to say about this card is when Cancers get that way, it's usually not without reason, and it's usually coming from a very emotional place. But what we have to understand is that they can act crazy because they care so much. So the caring becomes displaced in the anger, in the actions. All right? They may act like they don't care, but it's because they care. So you could be taking on this energy in response to whatever's happening here. Again, positive sign, we see a shift. Now, another positive sign here, you have two huge major arcana cards. The High Priestess, this is the card of Libra. Again, we're talking about air energy. And the Lovers. Again, we could be talking about another air energy. This is the card of Gemini. So don't focus so much on the signs, but focus on the fact that this has to do with deep understanding, deep protection of the knowing. This has to do with feeling connected, the Lovers, but from both sides. Because it represents Gemini, I'm shaking, I'm so cold. As we know, Geminis are the twins, so there's two sides. The whole realm is covered in the Gemini's type of personality, right? Lighthearted, chatty, fun, good with words, good with information, but also likes to play games and can be very mischievous and can be very angry, and if they turn against you, it could not be good for your situation, right? But what this ultimately means is thinking with the head and the heart. And because it's upright, there can be a strengthening of this knowing, a strengthening of a bond, but it's not without this battle. And what I think the culprit of this is, and the culprit of why we finally come together and we finally bond again in this deeper understanding, you and a lover, you and a person, you in a situation, has to do with finally understanding that, now you could be dealing with an earth sign. This is the card of Capricorn, the King of Pentacles reversed, but has to do with the understanding that we are not where we want to be yet. We're not at the pinnacle of our career. We don't have enough money saved. We realize maybe that we weren't as prepared as we needed to be, but so we might be acting inappropriately, both of you. However, once this is understood, then comes the reconnection, the understanding, and the depth. Okay, beautiful start to your reading, Pisces. Now let's go to the second row. Significator, Two of Swords reversed. Finally making a decision. A decision, either you or them, okay, swords again, but a decision that one was afraid to make, and we see this bay, this body of water behind her. Water in tarot represents the water energies. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. But if you can see her back is turned towards it, she's blindfolded, she has two decisions, or two ways of thinking, a decision that she needs to make. She knows she needs to make. She's not ready to. However, when it's reversed, she finally removes the blindfold and decides to make the decision. So this is a solid decision. And feeling good about it. Again, the Star. Feeling good about it. Eight of Swords reversed. Letting go of this analysis paralysis. Letting go of being tied down by our own thoughts. And once we do that, enter the Ace of Wands. A fiery energy, a fire in your gut, wanting to initiate something, start something new. This has to do with passion. So there may have been some uncertainty and some fear, but I think you guys are figuring that out. One person definitely decides to take the higher road. That's when the healing comes in. That's when the initiation comes in. That's when the shift occurs. And then things get really good. Because, Pisces, we have the Death card. Major endings, major beginnings. It is if you or them or the situation has left a phase, left something behind, and it is free and open roads, and you're moving in a direction that you can't turn back from. Okay, there's a finality to the Death card. Pluto in astrology represents that finality. And this is the card of Scorpio. Again, we could be talking about you, but you're moving to something new that you can't go back to what was before. And Knight of Swords, again, we could be talking about air energy. This could be legal. There could be legal issues. You could be dealing with the law. You could be dealing with medicine. Again, here too, we could be dealing with medicine, air. We could be dealing with health. Again, science, data, the legal system. This is a very black and white card. This is also a very card of extreme strategy. So think of a chess player that's 5 steps ahead of everybody along the whole path. It's almost as if this energy kind of made all this happen, and it's going to be okay. It was like part of the plan all along. And now that that's taken place, the shift has occurred, and there's no regrets. I should have started with this card. There's no regrets. She has her kind of her back turned towards the cups that have spilled. What's done is done. Let's move forward. And this is a card of regret, but at least with this deck, she's looking towards the future, looking towards the cups that are upright. But when this is reversed, there's no regrets. I don't think that there's any need for any regret. And then there is this extreme spiritual bond. This maybe lack of preparedness, this not having everything that you want to have at this time is kind of spawning and developing this connection. So I think there's a growing bond that's taking place. There's something very new and fresh. You can't go back to what was before, but you're very okay with all of it. You're kind of excited about it. And whether it was your plan, doesn't really matter. It was definitely their plan, and it's all good. This is a very good solid reading. So this Devil card here being tethered to something that is irrational. It may feel like this at times, but huge victory along the way. Huge buckling down and getting to work and focusing on what needs to be focused. And all of that really strengthens your bond here. It was something that was kind of destined to be, well thought out, and now here you are, and there's no regrets. Solid reading. We're going to pull a lot of clarifiers in the extended. Excuse me. For now, though, let's pull an oracle card. One more shuffle. Nope, that was it. Unity. See? Unity. Excuse me. The first card, let's read it. The key words: union, mystical experience, and spiritual home. When this card comes up in a reading, it is asking us to remember the mystical concept that we are all one, unified in a holistic universe. It reminds us to look at the needs and goals we have in common with others and seek cooperation and community action rather than attempting to do everything on our own. That's why there's so many twos here. Okay, pairing, pairing, pairing. Even though this is the card of unity, because ultimately we are all one. We're all made of dust, right? To achieve our goals, we need the active cooperation of others. And to get that cooperation, we must be helpful to them and willing to work with their ideas as well as our own. It suggests that we think of things in terms of equal partnerships. Yes. Rather than lines of hierarchical authority. Unity also tells us that we have much to gain by remembering our wholeness. Resolution of inner conflict is often necessary before we move ahead. That's what you're doing here. It is important at this time that we work towards cooperation and reconciliation within and without, seeking the highest good of all involved and not merely your idea of highest good. Ask for the divine energy of unity to permeate and guide you. I mean, this is epic Pisces reading, right? I mean, you're all about that. Understanding everybody, feeling everybody, understanding everyone's situation. So if you're in a partnership, Pisces, then things aren't perfect all the time. But where you may have felt that you were hard-nosed before, that is definitely lifting, and there's a huge sense of understanding and cooperation occurring this month. Okay? All right. I'm going to get into the extended now. We're going to pull clarifiers on all these. I really want to focus on this and this and these. These are really important, and we'll pull clarifiers on everything, but I really want to focus on what this was about. There's definitely love in the air. We'll very much focus on the death card. Okay, let's get into it. That link is below. I love you so much. I'm going to be doing your X spreads as well as your 6-month overview soon. So I'm going to start those in a couple days. So if you want a private reading, get that in so I can get those done before I start that big set of readings. And I will see you on the other side, all right? I love you, Pisces. Bye.